Hi guys, my name is Emanuel and we're Dice Game 40.
I'm Anakin, and we're Dice Game 40.
I'm Rundong Hu, we're Dice Game 40.
And this is our project.
Our game begins with the start page.
Let's run it. So in the start page, there's 3 buttons with each of them having a different UI. So we can start by clicking the rules page as we should.
In case you don't know anything about the game.
Yeah. Let's click the rules page.
Hear something?
Yeah.
Okay, so this page is just basically saying the rules of the game in order to know how to not mess anything up, and actually like get a good game going.
And it has a pretty good example to kind of get you rolling. So we click the back and it'll take us to the start page again. So
like
now
magic, like magic.
Now we go to the credits page. It's created by us.
As you can see,
Yeah.
pretty familiar. These guys seem pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, let's go back.
The real important things. Oh, sounds dangerous, right?
Yeah. All right. So this is the main UI for our game. So as you can see, the background right now is casino. However, we have many different options like tropical or woods, depending on how you're feeling, depending on the mood. But personally, I like tropical, so let's do that. So as we can see at the action board, it says player 1 starts. So player 1 will click roll dice 1. So the dice rolled. So now we can see the player 1's dice. He rolled a 3, a 6, a 4, a 3, another 3, and a 1. So now since player 1 dice rolled, so now player 2 has to roll his dice. Now we see that they got a 6, a 3, a 2, a 5, a 5, and a 5. So all of their dice values are on the top, and all of their dice values are on the top too. So to begin this, the player 1 will start the bet since player 1 starts the game. So the value of his bet, he would say that I believe that there's only 3 threes in the whole, with all the
At least 3.
Yeah.
at least 3 threes. So he will bet this. So now it's player 2's turn since player 1 bet. So with this in mind, player 2 could be, I doubt he has
3, at least three value of 3 dice.
Yeah.
So he'll say, I think there are gonna be 4 value of 3 dice on the ground. Oh, sorry. So player 2 bet.
And now player 1 is gonna say, I only have 3.
How can it possible there are 4 on the ground? Yeah,
So
yeah.
player 1 is gonna be like, no.
Go ahead.
Dodu. But the quantity of dice
On the field.
with the value of 3 is actually 4, which means player 2 wins because his bet was correct.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
then since player 2 won, his tally went up, and now player 2 starts the game again. So this is just a continuance of you can just go back and forth until you see whoever wins.
And we have countermeasures in place to make it so that a given player can't just keep winning. The game won't work unless the bet is actually true.
Yeah. So we got initialized the bet every time when you start it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, now that you know how the game looks, let's go look at the code behind the game.
Okay. So my job in this code is building up the basic frames. So you see how these properties, we create those properties and we initialize all the values. Then we start initialize the functions. So look, the current player is a random numbers of 2. So you can choose from 1 or the other players 2, whatever. So the first current bit, we are going to initialize all the bit value, bit quantity, and the dice are into 0. Okay, now we'll update the dice. So we're gonna post so the text area, as you can see, is on here, right? The text area 1 and text area 2. So whenever you print your dice value is shown, it will all print to the text area. So this is a logic function to validate the bit, to make sure the bit is really true, right? And this one is to call the winner. This is how to handle Doodle. So look, so if the player one win, then it will print the action on the action board. So the player one wins the round, and his score will add 1 on the scoreboard. Okay, now on the other hand, so all things down the below are just the bottom. So you can add those callback functions to call the method. So the game logic can be worked.
So my role behind this was animating the dice to make it look like the dice were being rolled while the button gets clicked. So what I did was we used like a dice rolling sound, and then we used the 4i like a loop, and it would display the images for like a split second, so it could give that cool dice animation feel. And we did the same for roll 1 and roll 2. And when you click the button, it will animate the dice and it'll give the value of the dice
that correlate to a dice array.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it would print that value in that text box that Michael talked about earlier.
And all the sounds are already added into the code. When you click the button, the sounds will also play.
Yeah.
Okay.
So most of the code that I was responsible for was making the bet functions actually work. So whenever we would push like one of these buttons, let's say player 1 bet or player 2 bet, I would store those values for later use in the text that was being printed in the action board. And I also had part in correcting the scoreboards to actually display who was winning, and basically making like all the variables use a bold because they weren't initially. A big problem that we ran into was forgetting to initialize all of the variables that we use. So this entire function, which does make the game work, wasn't being called. And as a result, our game was super broken for a very long time. But we did fix it because we realized our mistake, and that is why we now have a game that actually works.
Yeah. Pretty solid game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think now we're gonna talk about how we
how the real multiplayer.
Yeah. So one way we were planning to implement like the multiplayer was see how the data is like shared like between the two devices, and if possible, like hide a set of dice when it's true that the current player is this. So if the current player was like 1, we would hide all of the dice and values on like the opposite side for the like other player. And if we were able to do that, then it would make the game a lot more complete. Instead of being like a one-screen experience.
Because like as you see right now, if player 1 rules, player 2 could obviously see the player 1 value. So it like defeats the purpose of the game. So that's what we wanted to implement with the online version.
Yeah.
But sadly, since we don't have the
ThinkSpeak,
it was unable to make happen. However, that's what we were.
It was actually a pity. No, I mean, all right, go ahead.
What did you say?
No, I said it was actually a pity. P-I-T-Y.
Pity?
Oh, a pity. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
He's right.
Yeah, this is our game, guys.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully you guys get to play it one day.
Yeah. And we'll finish them once the ThinkSpeak can be valid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have fun.